Okay, let's see. Mic check. Excuse me, mic check. Should be able to hear and see now. TradePhantoms.com website here. Set this thing up. Live on YouTube. What's going on, Rick? Good to see you, brother. Hopefully you're doing well. Morning, morning. Yep, Mr. Blue here. We're TradePhantoms.com. This will get oriented very shortly. Today's date, August 8th, 2024. Summer solace. And we have exciting times in the markets. Yep, it was crazy, Rick, but made it safely. Took a couple of days, still unpacking all that kind of good stuff. But big house, baby, big house. Big office. The audio might be a little echoey because I'm in a big office. I'm trying to fill it in with the space and all that. But here we go. We should be good. This should be good here now. We got a lot of things to cover. I'm only going to be able to spend an hour here, right? So it's kind of a sneak peek of what it's like for the live trade room here at TradePhantoms.com. And I think we're going to be good to go here. And I'm going to start out with futures. And do some kind of morning prep. Check the VIX. Check a couple of things here, the bonds. And then I'll go over a couple of gaps on big FANG stocks, the Magnificent Seven, because I know the options are very liquid. And if I see a setup, I will take it live as I do with the group in team at Phantoms. Cool. That being said, Phantoms.com here, right? Mr. Blue here. Let's dive in. I got the computer or the landscape mode on, so hopefully y'all can see that pretty well. And let's, as mentioned, let's start this off August 8th here. Let's continue, or let's move on here. I'm going to start with the futures, as mentioned. This is going to be Think or Swim. Okay. Junior, good morning, good morning. Joseph, good morning, good morning. All right, Think or Swim. S&P futures, but before I even start, I'll just bring this up just really quickly. There's obviously going to be a process and a system, at Trade Phantoms, our foundation is going to be institutional demand and supply demand, if you will. And so we have a couple of things that we're going to be looking for to qualify levels of demand and supply, structure, location, etc. But this is a quick little rundown of what it could look like, or for members. Kind of like a checklist, if you will, to start off your trade plan. And we focused on a main thing called top-down multiple time frame analysis, right? So we're looking at, it's not about one time frame, it's about multiple time frame analysis. And we always want to start, no matter what, even if you're a scalper, short-term scalper style of trader, you always want to start with the top-down approach, high time frames first, right? So foundation is, we use 3 time frames. One is your high, one is your middle, kind of one is your small timeframes here. However, as you can see here, I have monthly, weekly, daily. Even if I am going to be on a small time frame, I'm going to be always looking for the higher timeframes via the monthly, weekly, daily as well. Okay, so we talk a lot about that. Here's a quick little checklist to help you or help folks. Okay, with the team at Phantoms. Okay, we got location of candlesticks. We got a couple of candlesticks here, bullish candlesticks, right? Bearish candlesticks with a couple of names on it. Names are less important, but the location of these candlesticks and what they are telling you, okay, via the buyers and sellers, are going to be most important. Okay, so here's a checklist that is and kind of a cheat sheet, if you will, of what you can look for or help you. What can help you look for in the market, right? And this is what's called the liquidity map. One of my favorite things on the planet. My style of trade is more New York City kind of market maker style of trade, and so where I got trained up back in the day. So I kind of put this together here in quadrants, and it kind of boils it down to allow traders to execute properly on the right side and ride of the market. Okay, so we focus on no thoughts, no opinions. We want to focus on strategy and edge, risk management, and just focusing on being on the right side of the market. Okay, and riding that right side of the market. Cut losers when wrong. Okay, riding winners when right. Okay, that's a very important concept in developing yourself into a professional trader. Okay. Now, that being said, as mentioned, I'm going to start off with futures here. We did just have news, so I just wanted to bring that to light just really briefly here. Right here. Okay, so let me just zoom in really quick. I'm sure most of y'all already know this. That just passed. Quick little website, very quick one, easy, forexfactory.com. Okay, and we just had unemployment claims. All right, they came in basically lower than expected. And that's cool. And you don't, of course, you have to know what news is coming out or pending, but it's going to be more important of how the markets react to that said news. Okay, so that being said, what it did to the futures market. If I go back to the screens here, I got the S&P futures. Futures are up about 0.74%. Okay, so we had a major drop over the past several days. I'll talk a little bit about that as I go through. But to give you a lay of the land, just really briefly, okay, we got a monthly time frame here on the left. I got weekly time frame here in the middle, and I got daily time frame here on the right. Okay, so again, monthly, weekly, daily. Want to start out with that top-down approach. Okay, I have the 60-minute time frame here. Okay, 1 hour time frame upper left. I have the 30-minute time frame here lower left, and I use this as my intermediate or middle time frame. Okay, and then I have the small time frames being the 5 here and the 2-minute time frame here on the right. Okay, so we start from the top down, monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, I got the 60, the 30, the 5, and the 2. Okay, so that top down approach as mentioned. Okay, and a lot of traders will use maybe the 4 hour here, maybe the 15 here, and that's okay. The one that's fine. Is just stay consistent with time frames is what I would mention or recommend. So you can see the same picture over and over and over again. Markets repeat same cycles over and over and over again. Okay, so that's the point of being a professional trader is to I can literally close my eyes and know what a setup, a trading setup, a bullish setup or a bearish setup looks like. Okay, because I've seen it millions of times. Okay, over my career. Okay, that being said, let's dive in. One of the things that I'm going to just start out with really briefly is it might sound like a different name to some folks that are not part of the Phantom teams already, but it'll sound very familiar to the members that are in here already looking at this, and that's what's called a Globex trap. Okay, so a Globex trap in futures. Okay, so again, this is S&P futures on a 1 hour time frame, and one of the first things that the team and I map out is what's called a Globex high and a Globex low. Okay, now Globex high, Globex low is going to be a fancy word for the overnight session. Okay, so futures trade overnight. Okay, futures trade overnight, so 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, while you're kind of cooking up some dinner, maybe potentially for yourself and family. Okay, the futures market's open. Okay, and it trades overnight. Okay, while the stock market is closed. Okay, now the stock market does have overnight session and pre-market session, yes, albeit. However, it's not as liquid. Okay, futures are a bit more liquid. So the point that I'm trying to make is, in Thinkorswim, this gray space right here is the overnight session. Okay, all right, Globex trap. Asher, good to see you, Asher, my man, Mr. Microsoft. So the Thinkorswim grazed this space out for us here, okay, for the Globex session, right? So this blue line right here I'm going to use, and I'm going to map out the Globex low, which was down here at about overnight, what, 51, 81, 50, give or take. I might be a tick or two off. Okay, so just go to your platform and you can refine that and make that the exact price there. All right, I'm just gonna for the time's sake, I'm just gonna kind of keep it flowing here. Okay, so 51, 81, 50, give or take, is gonna be that Globex low. I deleted my Globex high line by mistake this morning, so let me just get that back up. Hold on, copy and paste this. Here's the Globex high right now. Now we are still putting in the Globex high as we speak. Okay, so based off that news, as you can see, the futures market kind of spiked up a bit here. Okay, that news that just came out 25 odd minutes ago, right? 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so right now the Globex high is 52.77, give or take. Okay, right here. Now that could change if this makes a new high. That's going to update that Globex high. Okay. Now, so the first thing that we want to do, so you might want to update that, but that could be the high before the market opens in about 25 minutes, give or take. Okay. Now, one of the things that we want to do is map out what's called an institutional level of supply above Globex high, and then an institutional level of demand below Globex low. Okay. And these are what's going to be called Globex traps. Okay. Now I don't have enough time, okay, to explain exactly everything that entails what entails into a Globex trap. Okay. We do have classes and things like that that we spend some time on that topic specifically, amongst others. However, what I will say is that if I look at the Globex high and I look up and left up into supply, okay, here's the current price, and I look up and left into supply, we do have a bit of a supply zone right here that was developed yesterday. The markets were basing, and then it took. Yesterday was rangy for the first, I'd say 2 hours. We were inside bar for several, maybe say 2, almost 3 hours, give or take, and the market opened, and then finally the market opened up and dropped. Okay, so we do have some supply that was left from yesterday's, kind of drop. Okay, and I would map that out. Yes, and that comes in at about what 53, 50, 53, 55, which I have right there pinned. Okay, with that kind of pink bar right there, or that pink line right there. Okay, but a trap is what I want to do with this specific setup is trap trader. So trap trader. So if we were to break yesterday's high and come up into this little bit, this bit of a supply zone right here. Now this is not the greatest supply zone in the world here. Okay, we have a little bit of a rally. It's a bit of a basing and a drop, and it did yield a big lower low drop here. So that's why I do have it pinned, and that price is 53.75. So I put an aggressive there. So this is still fairly decently aggressive. It's still decent to take, but I have an asterisk on it with aggressive mark there. I'll zoom in a bit here so you can see the price a bit more better. Thinkorswim's not letting me do that. I don't want to squint this down to mess up my charts there, but you might want to write that down, 5375. Okay, with that supply right there. There's also another one right up here too, 5425. So these would be fairly decent, okay, for a potential Globex trap. Okay, now if I'm long, I want to be taking profit up here at the supply zone, and then I would also potentially, depending on what the market's doing with VIX as well, I would elect to potentially take a Globex trap short amongst these levels here. Okay, so 54.25, 53.75. We also have this worked out beautifully. We had a daily supply zone here. You might even want to go back to the prior sessions, even on YouTube, where we kind of mapped this out. That 5600 was beautiful. Okay, the high before this major drop that we've had this week and latter part of last week was the high was 56.75. So three ticks in that zone, and then it just dumped out. And we had a little bit of a gap fill up here too. Okay, so I had a G trap short gap fill 5600 even number. Blue is going to be daily time frame, okay, supply. All right, that's why I color code things to let me know which time frames I am working or that supply or demand is developed. Okay, so that was a beautiful level right there, and then that's where the high happened right before that big dump as in the markets happened. Okay, so extremely powerful, extremely powerful. Okay, the challenge is you have to be patient. Okay, you have to be patient. So you have to be patient for these levels to hit. Okay, and that's part of the challenge with a lot of developing traders is the psychology and the patience component of trading and investing. Okay, trading is fairly simple. Okay, but humans complicate it, and humans are subjected to human emotions. And don't be a victim of your human emotions. Okay, almost be robotic. Okay, but these are the levels here. And by the way, if we do get back up here, I kept these lines up here. Okay, these levels up here. So in the event that we do continue to rally off the lows that we had a couple days ago. Now this is this might not be over yet. All right, I talked to the team in the trading room yesterday in the trade room. All right, and we continue to discuss the market going forward. Okay, so just because the futures were up this morning does not mean that the market's going to come all the way back up. Okay, so we trade tape. Okay, you'll see when the markets open how I unravel and organize the data in markets. Okay, but the long story short here is I'm going to keep these lines up here. This supply area right here, this thing just touched this and dipped right back down. Okay, so there might be still some decent supply up here at the 5600 in the S&P futures. Okay, now I'm going to move on. Okay, I'm going to move on. There is a Globex. There is a couple levels down here too. I have 51.55. Okay, that's going to be a low retest of that big drop that we've had over here. So I'll just keep that one pinned there for right now. So You might want to pin that, make a note. Again, 5155 right down there. That might be the retest of this low, at least at a minimum. Okay, now there is a level right down below this level too, and you might want to write that down, 5100, 5100, basically the even number. There is a nice demand level right below that, okay? But we'll see if we can break a new low around the 5155 before we get there. Okay, so the low in futures is 5120-ish. Okay, so I just want to make a note of that. All right. All right, 51, I'll just keep it even numbers here, 5120. All right, I would not put my stop loss right below that level because the market makers might just want to swipe a quick little new low to pick up some liquidity. Okay, so these would be decent for a Globex trap. So you might want to wait for what's called a positive COG. And some of the phantoms in here know what I'm talking about here, but it might sound like a different language for some new folks in here. Okay, all right, I got to move on. I'm going to do NASDAQ futures next. Okay, what is going on here? Let me see. There we go. Okay, so NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ came down beautifully, okay, into a monthly level. We did take a bounce, so monthly, weekly, daily, okay. I know the lines are kind of tricky here. I'll drill it down in a moment. We did come down into this weekly level last week, and we took a nice bounce out of this level on the weeklies. Okay, so monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, so we had a weekly level in here that we had planned. Okay, we took a beautiful bounce up off of it. Okay, but we came into some daily supply up here. Okay, and then the market made a new low on the dailies. Okay, however, the NASDAQ futures did come even deeper down into some monthly demand down in here. Okay, so even though this market has been dropping, and it feels like the world's ending and things like that, okay, the VIX spiked up to 60, 65, which I was loving, okay, just remember, folks, don't be subjected to that fear, okay, all right, you know, be calm, be cool, be collected, okay, and analyze your levels and go to the higher time frames and see where these markets are dipping down deeper into some higher time frames. Okay, so as you can see, okay, we dipped down into weeklies, took a nice bounce out of there, okay, and that was like a nice, 15, 1700, almost 2000 point move off these weekly levels that we had planned from the 1800, okay, came up into some supply, some daily supply, then we made a new low. Okay, now we made a new low on the daily, lower low, yes, albeit, however, if you look over here to the left, we have massive monthly demand with the rising 20 period moving average here as well to be confluent with that, okay, so this 17,000 area in NASDAQ is going to be a very critical area. Okay, and I wouldn't be surprised if they even break, if this market is not done yet dropping, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if they come below, okay, trap, get some people fearful, okay, to sell into this market and then liquidity sweep below that 1700 monthly level and then have another little bounce up, okay. Now, if I had more time, okay, I would go into that in the live trade room, okay. I spend typically all day with the folks in there, okay, on the trade days. And we'll be discussing that in more detail. That's probably not going to be happening today. Okay. Now let me give you something that potentially might be happening today. If I go over to the 60-minute time frame here in Nasdaq. Okay. Okay, you can see that weekly level that we were talking about here. Okay, it dipped right in. Okay, it had a nice bounce out. Okay, so just supply demand working out very nicely. Okay, all right. Not all levels work out, but the higher quality ones. Okay, when you're patient and you wait for them, you get nice bounces. Okay, out of them. Okay, and you can control. You can't control the market, but what you can do is you can control how you trade the market. Okay, so make sure you're navigating these markets very diligently. You're looking at institutional demand and institutional supply. Now, I'm going to go mark this off as I did in the S&Ps futures. This is NASDAQ futures on a 1 hour time frame. Okay, Thinkorswim platform if you're curious about that. Okay, gray space in Thinkorswim maps out the overnight session. Gray. This is the overnight low, Globex low. I'm going to also map out the overnight Globex high, which we just kind of put in a couple minutes ago. Okay, and again, same thing. If this makes a new high, update that. Okay, regular trading hours starts in about 25 minutes, give or take 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stock market hours. Okay, I'm going to do this one quicker because it's going to be very similar to the S&P futures. Okay, so the trap is going to be above Globex high. Do I have supply? Institutional level of supply. Okay, this one's fairly decent. Now this is a test to this. We had a gap fill. Okay, I remember yesterday with the group. We were above daily VWAP on Qs. There was like no fall through. We were inside bar, but then I noticed that we had a gap fill right there, and Nasdaq just could not get above its gap fill. So in the Qs, in the S&P, I'm sorry, in the QQQs, which is the ETF where I trade stock and options on that, and then the S&P. I love the S&P, so I digress. The Nasdaq futures also had a gap fill right here. So I did not get long, okay, QQQs yesterday. Because of that, okay, which saved a small loss because that did not work out, and then ended up being a day that ended up being a nice short day, meaning bearish, okay. And I think I have Junior, my man Junior in here, who's a member, who crushed QQQs yesterday. So my man, good job, brother, good job. You deserve it. You work hard for that money, baby, okay, and your skill set. Keep it up, brother. All right, keep it up. Stay disciplined. I think he's in here. I saw him this morning. Okay, so Globex high. So I will pin this. This is yesterday's high. Okay, but I want to look up above and look up and left into for some supply. I do have this one mapped out 19,000. Okay, I will bring this one another level right here as well. The challenge with this here is that these are all developed overnight, the overnight levels, so they're not as powerful and strong. Okay, so the first level that I see that developed above yesterday's high and above this Globex high is going to be this level right here. The only challenge is that it's not the greatest formation in the world here. Okay, and this could be retested to that already. So you want to have the freshest levels in the world. I mean, it's not the freshest level in the world or the most prime level in the world. But I'll pin kind of this area up here. This is a daily high in Nasdaq futures, and this is where we dipped in the 1800. Okay, then we had a nice bounce out of here, came up to some daily supply. Okay, and then we actually came down, and then sellers took over and absorbed all this demand that was in this weekly and took it down low, all the way down lower, down into the monthly. Okay, so this is what's called a flip zone. Okay, what was once demand is now a supply on the other side. Okay, so long story short, okay, is that price point comes in at 18,000, call it 18,725. Okay, now Nasdaq futures 18,725. This could be decent for a Globex trap short. Okay, meaning that if prices get up above Globex high into this level 18,725, that would be an area. If you're long in a bullish trade already long, this would be an area where I would want to be taking profit, selling at supply, okay, to exit, to book in gains, okay, and or take a potential Globex trap short up here, okay, simple enough. All right, and long story short here too, I'm gonna just move this orange line just down just a box just a little bit there, just so y'all can see the prices. Okay, now I had, if you go back to the recordings, I had 17,367 down here at the monthly pinned for quite some time. Okay, and that happens to be the low. Okay, I'm not trying to be a hero here. Okay, that happened to be the low. Okay, we caught this here. Okay, but then we had a couple levels right here that got absorbed. A little bounce, but then it got absorbed. Okay, with that momentum, with VIX spiking up 60%. Okay, so but this is a better level down here because this is a monthly level. Okay, a monthly level is bigger and stronger than a weekly level. Okay, so Nasdaq, just put this down on your radar, down here at the 17,300s, okay, is still going to be a massive level of monthly demand. And it also maps up or lines up and aligns with a Globex trap here in the event that this happens today. Okay, so if we were to break this Globex low, 17,736, a lot of numbers in Nasdaq, and we come down to the 360s, 370s, okay, this could be a potential Globex trap bullish long down here. Okay, all right, so that's going to be a decent one right there, and I like how it's a monthly level. Okay, and we just kissed that zone. Okay, and then took off. Okay, so there's still going to be some deeper demand that needs to be absorbed in here. Okay, all things being equal, maybe if the VIX is not spiking up 6 to 60. Okay, VIX 60 up 150, almost 200%. Okay, if that's not the case, then we should probably take a nice little bounce off this little level right here. Okay. Now I'm going to do oil and gold futures very quickly here. Looking at the time, we got 20 minutes before the open. So I'm going to keep this one, oil and gold, a bit just more short and sweet. Okay, monthly, weekly, daily, gold futures. Okay, on the left, monthly, weekly, and on the right we have daily. Okay, gold. This is oil futures. Oil's been rangy. Okay, rangy, and it's just bobbing and weaving in between. So it's been rangy for years now. Okay, on the left time frame here, monthlies. Okay, this is multiple years of data. Okay, so you can see this. Long story short, it's trapped in between these two boxes here of monthly and monthly demand and monthly supply. Okay, and as you can see, here's current price, and we're kind of, we're just bobbing and weaving in the middle of that. Okay, now if I were to say, are we closer to demand, or are we closer to the supply on this range? Now we are closer to the demand level down here, or low range, I should say, low range versus upper range. Okay, so oil is on the condition of range. We are on the lower third, if you will, of that said range. Okay, weeklies here as well. So you can see we have weekly levels mapped out in here. Okay, so as you can see, oil is very wicky. Okay, it's wicking high, wicking low. So when you're in a range, okay, it's difficult to trend trade. Okay, so this is where you want to become more of a kind of a levels trader. Okay, there's different conditions of it, and you have to change the style of trade via the market condition. Okay, so there's not always an uptrend, there's not always a downtrend. Sometimes you have ranges, okay, and sometimes you have uptrends that turn into ranges. Okay, sometimes you have downtrends that turn into ranges. Okay, so it's just like the weather. Okay, it's not always sunny. Okay, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's windy. Conditions change in markets, and so you have to be aware of that conditional change. Okay, and to give you an analogy, just to keep it very simple. Okay, if it's snowing and it's below zero, okay, you might not want to wear shorts and a t-shirt, okay, and a tank top, because you might freeze your butt off. Okay, does that make sense? So you can't, right? And the same thing with the markets. You can't trend trade, okay, in a condition of range trade. Okay, you can't levels trade as or in range trade in a condition of a trending environment. Long story short, oil has been in a range on the macro, monthly, and weekly levels for years. Okay, so be careful trading in the middle of those said ranges. Again, long story short with this, we're on the lower third. Yesterday, we did put in a nice bullish engulfing positive COG bar, okay? Closer to that said lower range, okay? Because we are in the lower, the lower range of this, okay? As mentioned, okay? Now, that just doesn't mean that we're gonna continue up, okay? The momentum is down right now, okay? But the momentum is down right now on the weeklies and dailies, okay? But we're coming down in that lower range, and we did put in a bar on there. So I'm gonna do the same thing as I did and again, I discussed that more in detail in the classes, okay? I'm just giving you a quick little analogy for time's sake here. I only can spend an hour with you folks in here today on YouTube. Mapping out the Globex high, Globex low. This is the Globex low. This is the Globex high, okay? Now with this, you can go either way, but just be careful with this, okay? As mentioned, with the range. I already have a couple of levels mapped out here. All right. Oops, I did not mean to delete that. I apologize. Dang it. Globex low is here. If we break this and come down in here, there is a couple of demand zones here. These ones were developed overnight. These demand zones, what is wrong with Thinkorswim lately? It's not letting me draw this thing here. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. There's a decent little demand zone right there. IBI. Okay, impulse basing, nice little impulse here. It did create a new high on the smaller time frames here, but remember the higher time frames. I'm on a 60-minute time frame here. Okay, this is a small time frame here, intermediate time frame, middle time frame. So, even though this did create and pop out this new high right here, just remember the higher time frames still rule. Also, the daily still has momentum down. Okay, so this one I would be a little careful here. This price comes in at about 73. I'll be a little bit more conservative here with y'all folks, especially on YouTube. 73.50. This is a decent one. I'll put an asterisk on this. Just to signify that this is going to be G-trap long or bullish. Okay, but this is aggressive. Asterisk. Asterisk. ARG. Okay, ARG for aggressive. 73.50. Okay, 73.50. This IBI right here. And the reason why is because again, momentum down on dailies. Okay, and good thing is it'll get a score, a vote of confidence for low range. Okay, but momentum is still down. That's gonna be a not vote of confidence for the bulls. Okay, and also this is developed overnight, so it's not as powerful as something that's developed during the day or regular trading hours. That level that was developed during the day is down here. Call it 72.50. Okay, so there's going to be two levels here. Okay, that might be a fairly interesting. Now, these are not the best levels in the world here. Okay, so if you ever went through the actual what we call trading essentials with Phantoms, Mr. Black does a great job at analyzing or teaching you how to analyze what qualifies as a good institutional level versus not good institutional level. Okay, that's beyond the scope and time of what we have here today. Okay, if you are interested in that, if this is kind of ringing your bell here, okay, you can go to TradePhantoms.com. Okay, click on that register there. Okay, and this could be the beginning of that journey. Okay, if you see fit. Today, actually, Thursday, August 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 hours away, 90-minute class, give or take. Okay, first name, email, so you can get registered and get sent a link. Okay, and here's kind of what the syllabus is of that. You know how markets work from a professional standpoint. We're all professionally trained. Mr. Black, Mr. Green, myself here, Mr. Blue. Okay, how professionals analyze the market, multi-directions, up, down, and sideways. Okay, all assets, stocks, futures, forex, options. Okay, whether you're trading for short-term income, scalping. Okay, small accounts, just starting out your career. Okay, all the way to long-term management, wealth accounts, using stock options, and even futures and forex. Okay, every asset class, even crypto, is included. Okay, all right. So that's if you're new. Okay, that would be the place to kind of start. Okay, that's where everybody started here at Phantoms. Okay, to get back to the charts here, 7250, decent one here. I'm still going to leave the aggressive asterisk on that, even though this was developed during the regular trading hours here. Okay. And are you an accredited investor? I am audited. I get audited because I'm a contractor, so I get audited. I did have my series. I did not upgrade it when I left New York. But really, when you have your series 7 and 63, you're basically this is beyond the scope of what I'm saying. What we should be talking about here, but you're basically just a salesman, to be honest with you. So I wanted to be a real live trader, and which I am, which I developed myself into be for a long time. I'm audited. I get audited. My accounts get audited, so I have to show that I am profitable consistently. To answer your question, okay. But I don't. I did not renew my series and all that, my series licenses and things like that, because when I went out there to New York, I was like, I don't want to be a salesman pitching stock, man. I'm not. That's not my style. Okay. I want to be a real live trader. I'm talking like analyzing risk, hitting the buttons, in the trenches, in the pits. Let's trade. Okay, but I do get audited to make sure that what I do and say, okay, is accounted for. Okay, and that's what I love about Phantoms. Okay, we do everything, let's say legally, legit. Okay, there's a lot of stuff out there which in this business in terms of, sketchy stuff and scams and bullshit and stuff, BS. Okay, so we want to be careful with that. Okay, all the companies that I'm basically contracted for. Okay, I do some work still out there in New York City. My man Eric A. There you go, my man. Even with the company that you know what I'm talking about. Back in the day, I got audited with them, and then I do some work for my good friend Andy, who's my mentor out there in New York. Okay, and he is a literally market making firm. So if I do anything regarding his firm and anything else, they have to audit my data, audit my accounts. Okay. All right. So yeah, I have two other things that I work with, and and Phantoms too, Phantoms. Okay, Phantoms have have to send my data in and make sure everything is legit. Okay. All right, folks, I got to move on though. Okay, great questions though. Okay, great questions. Let's move on a bit there. So 72.50. Okay, I have 71.75 that I had pinned to that it worked out pretty nicely there. Whatever that was in the past, right? Again, very simple monthly low down in here. Very simple stuff. Monthly low, weekly low demand down in here, low range. Okay, and honestly, that would still be fairly decent, just like the Nasdaq. Okay, we might pin a new low in here. I would say because we had a little side talk there, which is okay. You might want to pin the 60, 69. What's this monthly low here? 69. 69.28. So you might want to pin that 69.28. 69.28. Okay. Again, 69.28. You might want to pin that. That would be beautiful for a nice little Globex trap. And that's going to be deeper into this monthly level down in here. So again, 69.28 would be a nice one in the event that we did slap, or slam into a new low in oil down in here. Okay. Gold. Gold. Gold, macro bull. Now gold, even though it's a macro bullish, monthly, weekly, daily, okay? Some money flows coming into gold as always, okay? Safe haven. Gold's been on an uptrend, but it's been very rangy up here. So make sure that you're being very patient on this because it could come down back lower into range, okay? I'm just gonna go straight to the point here and map out Globex high, Globex lows. I've been off these screens for a little while now, so these lines need to be updated. Man, I was oh, anybody take this level here? This was a good one right there, the IBI way back here. But anyways, I gotta move on here. We got 9 minutes before the open. I wanna see if I can get a couple of setups here started for y'all too. Mike, my man, Money Mike is in the house, my boy. Miss you, man. Money Mike. You're my boy too, man. You are my boy too. Money Mike is developing into a good trader. That's why we call him Money Mike. All right, Globex high, Globex low. I'm just gonna save some time here. These levels took a little bounce here, but got blown out because macro bullish here, macro bullish. Okay, that doesn't surprise me one bit. Okay, there goes a little liquidity sweep right below here. Stop loss right below these levels. Liquidity sweep, wick, boom. So, anyways, I'm getting too excited. I love liquidity. Jason Rodriguez, my man. So to map out that's saved for Phantoms. That's saved for members who are part of the team. All right, I'm not trying to be, if you're on YouTube right now just watching and you're not part of the team, I'm not trying to exclude you, okay? But I'm not saying every single thing that we do in terms of strategy on free YouTube. All right, we have folks in here that I respect that made the decision and part of the team here with Phantoms. So I want to protect some knowledge and data for that. You see what I'm saying, right? So yeah, so I probably won't do that, but tomorrow morning, absolutely, y'all know, the deal. Okay, we didn't do it yesterday because I just got rebooted, connected to the on the internet at 9 a.m. Eastern yesterday. All right, so it was a fire move. It was a fire analysis. All right. So this would be decent for a Globex trap. Now this is kind of an obvious level, again, developed overnight. So be careful with that. And I would be very careful with shorting gold, okay? So I'm still gonna be looking for qualified levels of demand below Globex low. They still have not filled this gap all the way down here. So I'm gonna kind of move on from this, all right? I gotta clean up gold tonight just with these lines and things like that, okay? Long story short, I want to be super conservative with you folks in here. 2366. I'm not sure if that's going to hit today or even if that is going to hit. All right. But remember, gold is, even though it's macro bull, it's very kind of slow rangy right now and going up and down on its wide range on dailies and weeklies. Okay. So don't miss judge that this might not happen. Okay, 2366 might be an area where if we were to break and go lower, this would be lower range to pick off some longs and some demand on a macro bull move. Okay, I do have this weekly level here mapped out as well. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, 2340 ish, all the way down to 2300. So I'll even say 2350. So long story short, to move on, 2350 in oil, gold, all the way down to 23. There's going to be a massive weekly level, okay, and there's going to be fresh IBIs inside of this weekly level, okay, and we have multiple time frame confluence in here as well. So if gold were to get down to 2350 futures, this would be beautiful for a nice swing trade into engage into gold, even for a long-term style of trade or portfolio, etc. Okay. Okay. Now we have 4 minutes before the open. I'm a little bit backed up, if you ask me. I want to check the VIX real quick. One of the things that we want to check is the VIX, the volatility index, major part of trading. Okay. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. Inverse relationship. Okay, you can see VIX spiked up to 60 plus. Okay, during that market drop that we had, Nasdaq was down what 5% pre-market Monday morning. Okay, I loved this. I sold a ton of puts. Okay, on SPYs. I did some in Qs. All right, I engaged some NVIDIA puts as well. All right, that's beyond the scope of this time right now. We got 4 minutes before open. Long story short, the VIX is down about 6% here today. Okay, so if VIX is down, okay, market up. Okay, if VIX up, market down. We map out this on a longer term scale as well. Again, higher time frames, scaling out. Okay, so for a long time, VIX was low. This was an outlier move. Okay, this was an outlier move. You typically do not get. Okay, so that's one for the record books here. Okay, VIX did not see 60 back until 2020. Okay, so so that was a one for the record books there. Okay, which is why I needed to sell some puts there. Okay. You probably did mean boy coins, right? Because when volatility spiked, I want to own NVIDIA. So when volatility spikes, option prices are extremely high. So I collected a lot of premium, okay, in SPYs because I loaded up on SPYs, puts, and Qs. Okay, and then I also did some NVIDIA, as mentioned, because I love that stock and I want to own it. So I've been selling NVIDIA puts at 100. Okay, and when that volatility spiked, we came down into some levels down in here. Okay, down in here, we had some monthly levels, daily IBIs, yearly VWAP. Okay, and so you can see I have pinned 80, 90, 95, 100. Okay, and this is where I started to sell some puts. I even sold puts down here. I didn't even tell this because I was actually traveling. I had to literally pull over to find internet. I got 70 because this gap fill. I'm not sure if the NVIDIA is going to fill this gap down in here. Okay, but I sold some put premium. I sold some put premium there as premiums were insanely high to collect some premium on that. Okay. All right, so I got to move on here. Let me map out the overnight high, overnight low on VIX. Okay, we got market opening up in about a couple minutes here. All right, let's see. So I got overnight high in VIX. I got overnight low in VIX right here. So markets are up slightly. Okay, 0.7 something odd percent. Okay, and VIX is down 6%. So if the VIX continues to fade lower, okay, the bulls could be out to play today. If the VIX fades or comes higher, okay, and we're below daily VWAP, okay, the bears or bearish traders, okay, the bears might be coming out to play out of hibernation, okay. All right, so we'll just pin that there for a moment. I'm going to go through this very quickly. Now, there's a couple things here that I would do if I had more time. Okay, I just want to get a pre-market quote real quick on SPYs. Okay, SPY of daily time frame, SPY ETF. All right, so we closed here yesterday. It was a nasty close. Okay, it was rangy in the morning. Okay, drop down, closed here. We have a gap up, slight gap up, kind of back into mid-range yesterday. So what's called an inside gap. So be careful with this gap. Even though it's a gapping up, does not mean it's going to continue up. Okay, it's an inside gap. QQQs, same thing. Nasdaq, by the way, that level B that we talked about for my phantoms came down low, beautiful in there, and a gap fill right here. NASDAQ, that's where we took the bounce out of here. Okay, then we have a retest up here. So right now it's going to be, right now, you know, this week's going to be very interesting because we have a swipe down. Okay, came down to some decent levels here, bounce up, and then now the bulls and the bears are going to be fighting here. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to continue up into some supply up here, or if we're going to get a equal to or a new low down in here to fish out some more deeper demand. Okay, I'm actually hoping that it comes down lower so we can get some stocks, okay, into lower prices to pick up some long-term pricing for our portfolio. Anyways, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow, my phantoms. So stay tuned. Okay, side gap up, inside gap on QQQs, and Apple gap up, inside gap. Let me just see Amazon real quick. Side gap up, a bit more weaker. Google side gap up, inside gap. So most of these are going to be inside gap. Meta took a loss in Meta yesterday. We don't high losers in phantoms. Let me see. So most of these are going to be inside gaps, anyways. AMD as well. Sold some puts. I had 120 puts. I even rolled these down into 100. Okay, I love AMD stock too. Anyways, market just opened. Let me just check internals really quickly to see if I can cook up some, or if the market's cooking up some setups here this morning for y'all and us. I'll take them if I see fit. Let me see, VIX on lows. We just opened up. Slight gap up. We get advanced declines, ADD, plus 1400. Okay, not super aggressive, but it's positive. We'll see how that pans out for the day as well. Whoa. Vol D, $ Vol D, New York Stock Exchange volume up versus down. Let me see, BitO mortgage. I'm gonna get to that immediately. Y'all know I love mortgage gaps. Cool. Not extreme on the upside. All right, let's go to BitO. My man Jason Rodriguez is giving us some attention to BitO, Bitcoin. Let's see. My man, good job, brother. Mortgage gap. That's a very powerful gap. Jason Rodriguez, my man. Hopefully y'all picked up some IBIT and BitO. All right, Bitcoin hit that 50K mark. Good job, Jason. All right. I had BitO. I picked up some IBIT. I had limit orders in IBIT that have been sitting there forever for Bitcoin to come down in here in this level. So tagged 50,000 very beautifully. Good job, Mark. Yeah, Bitcoin off that 50K level is beautiful, and BitO and IBIT basically. So BitO is going to be good here today. BitO. Let's see, mortgage gap. Let's get to the screens here. I want to be patient with indexes right now because we are in the middle of yesterday's range gap up, and yesterday in the morning was very rangy. So just be patient. Let me go to BitO real quick. Let me see if the opening day's print is giving us something here. So we have a mortgage gap on BitO. That might sound like a different language to some, okay? But we talk a lot about that. But be patient. It's not giving us the intraday setup just yet, okay? So be patient. We're below VWAP, so be patient on BitO. I'm gonna go through a couple other tickers here really quickly. Let me just see what sectors are the strongest. Sector rotation. I'm so excited. I'm booting up my. I'm starting to build my other computer. Okay, that I just spent like $4,500 on. All right, for sector rotation specifically. Okay, I'm gonna hang that up on my wall, the screens. So we're gonna have a lot more sector rotation stuff here. All right, right now builders are one of the stronger ones here this morning. Hold on. No, tech is strong. That's gonna be slightly bullish. However, the off open is slightly down. So be patient today, folks. We go back to FANG. All right, so far, the slight gap up, but opening prints a little bit not giving it to us just yet. Walmart. Is it Walmart? Is it Google? Very wiki, be patient. JP Morgan, I still have some JP Morgan left over from yesterday for Friday's expiration. JP Morgan looks like an ad here. JP Morgan long call. All right, JP Morgan's giving it to us there. See, Meta, be careful. Meta can be tricky sometimes. Right now, JP Morgan is giving us what's called a positive COG. Well, on the small time frame here, hammer bar above VWAP. All right, this thing is not jarring, so I'm just going to be quick here. Long call JP Morgan. Long call JP Morgan here for the day trade. Now, some of my phantoms already know this yesterday. I left some JP Morgan on yesterday. We took some profit on JP Morgan. I left those on. All right, this is yesterday's trade. Okay, those are floating down still just a little bit there, but we took profit on some of them. I have, like 25% of my size still left on. This morning, we have another nice little bullish setup. Let's see if we get some continuation on that. If we pick up, I already have the 205 call, but the 205 call could still be in play again here this morning. Okay, so right there, if you pick up the 205 strike call, that's going for about what, 91 cents, give it 94 cents, give or take. Okay, so this bottom one where my arrow is, if it stops moving here, right there, okay, is going to be where I'm going to be picking these up here. So if I buy the 205 strike call here, JP Morgan. All right, I just picked these up for 98 cents. I got to fill. I'll just put a line right here to represent that. We'll keep it moving. All right, so long call day trade for JP Morgan. Visa also giving us a decent little positive COG as well. Let me just check BITO. All right, be patient with BITO. Be patient, not setting up yet. Visa is giving us a nice positive COG. Let me just check the higher time frames. It's on the retest level on monthlies, decent weekly, slight pain gap, inside gap, but nice positive COG on the intermediate and small time frames here. So long call Visa as well. Visa's fairly decent. All right, August 9th expiration. These are just gonna be day trades here. Okay, quick day trades here. So 260 strike. I'm just going at the money, keeping it very simple for right now. These are going for about a buck 50 here. So I'm gonna pull the trigger on that. Long call Visa day trade. All right, just picked these up here for 150 even they gave me. The spread's kind of a little wide on Visa, so be careful. Sometimes I don't like trading Visa for that reason in terms of options. Okay. But I want to be careful with bullish exposure here. All right, let me check internals really briefly. So that blue line represents, kind of where I filled it, give or take. All right, what I liked was that we had a nice little positive CRG here above VWAP. No idea why Thinkorswim is, not letting me draw these ellipses here. First time through, it's annoying, but there we go. It took only 10 clicks. Let me see. Energy, XOM was a nice little trade yesterday. Google was playing games yesterday. Netflix was nice. GLD gold, nice. GLD long call, gold futures looking good too. So gold futures, you can work off this positive COG here. So gold futures. All right, typically I'd want to put my stop loss below VWAP. This might seem wide here, but I'm on a small time frame, 2-minute time frame. Okay, this would be the area where I would probably prove wrong on below this level here on futures, below VWAP. All right, and you can work on pullbacks into gold futures, bullish, potentially. He's going to be a little aggressive here. Come on, I don't know why. Thinkorswim's kind of pissing me off a little bit here. Let me see. So there's VWAP, that white dash line right here. Okay, so this is where we want to prove wrong, below this level and below VWAP right here. So stop loss below 24.40. Okay, so it's about what, 10-point wide stop. If you wanted to work on a little bit of pullbacks down into this area here, 24.50-ish. Okay, 24.44. Okay, that will reduce your risk. Okay, GLD in terms of options, stock and options, we did just have a nice positive COG right there. That's what I want to see BITO do to follow through with the mortgage gap. So I'm going to get long GLD, okay, and I just helped you out with gold futures as well. I usually have a screen designated for futures. I don't have that one up just yet, so I'll just pass on futures for right now. But I'm going to take GLD right now. I'm not 100% set up here in the new place. So 222 half strike called, August 9th expiration. These are going for about $1.40. GLD long call, futures as well. All right, long bullish. So as you can see, I map out Globex traps, okay, but then there could be other setups that we develop. Okay, so we have multiple ways to attack this market here at Phantoms, okay, when you get trained up. I just got these filled at 154 where they're at right now. All right. This will be a day trade. Let's put that line there to represent that. Okay, give or take. All right, Visa, we got a new high. Let's see if we can take profit on this. All right, Visa. Spread is annoying. So they're up a little bit there. Usually I want a little bit more than that, not being greedy, but Visa did make a new high here. XOM looking fairly decent too. The only thing challenge with XOM is it's very rangy and weird and odd on the daily, so it's not the greatest setup in the world. Let me see. So NVIDIA gapped up, but we're fading down on NVIDIA. I'm loving this. I'm loving NVIDIA coming down to this monthly level down in here. Right, Phantoms. We're going to be having another chat about a special bonus session soon, as I mentioned, as I promised, and I make all my promises right. Y'all know that. Regarding long-term macro. Okay, so I set up a bonus session before, but we're gonna do another one here because now we got the drop. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can do that tomorrow with y'all. Okay, today, however, NVIDIA, we are below daily VWAP. NVIDIA is still a hard one to short, but yesterday's close was a negative COG and a bearish engulfing bar here. Slight gap up. Costco, let me see Costco. Costco's looking good, Money Mike. Good one, brother. Monthlies, swiped a monthly low on a retest previous high over here. Swiped a new monthly low, rising 20 on the weekly. And then we have a slight pain gap. It's still an inside gap, most of them inside gap, slight pain gap up. Costco decent. You might not be too late on that. We have a positive COG. Costco's decent here for a long. Crushed Costco trade, 2 months ago? We took this move here. That's all these options here. I don't even want to delete that. These spreads killed it. That was actually one of my bigger wins for that month. Anyways, moving on in life. Costco could be a bit expensive. The spread's very wide too. That's the challenge with it. That's why I like to swing trade Costco, and it's challenging day trade. Let me go back to BITO really quick. How's BITO setting up? All right, BITO mortgage gap up, but so far mortgage gap failure. So we want to wait for this red bar to get opening day print to get taken out, positive COG above VWAP. So be patient on that. NVIDIA and AMD, semiconductors. Let me just check SMH here. That's the ETF. So the challenge with this is going to be because we are, it's negative COG on the dailies and negative COG on the dailies and intraday, slight gap up, but we're in the location wise, we are lower down here in the monthly demand. So that's going to be a little challenging there. But semiconductors are getting hit a bit here. So AMD, yeah, Bido right now. Just be patient with it, Jason. Just be patient with it, brother. Just be patient. We did have a nice little negative COG print on AMD here. I gotta trade the tape, so I'll work on AMD. I'm sorry, NVIDIA. Now I'm a day trade short, okay, but a macro picture long on NVIDIA. Now that's a concept. If you get it and you know that and you understand it, great. But that's a concept that we can discuss more in detail when the time is right inside of classes, etc. I'm gonna get long put bearish on NVIDIA here. Semiconductors are getting hit. They're continuing to get hit here. So if I pick up the 98 strike here, day trade. Excuse me. Excuse me. I apologize. That one crept up on me. Salud. Excuse me. God bless. 98 put. They're going for about $1.85. Okay, I could work on this here this morning. All right. If I'm wrong, and this just swipes a new daily high here or a new intraday high, I'm just gonna get out above VWAP and above that 200 period moving average there on the small time frames there. All right. So that would be stop loss area up here where that kind of pink line is up here. Call it 102.40 ish. All right. Let me pull the trigger on this just really quickly here. Long put NVDA. All right. I'm probably not going to do the original size that I'd like to do on this. All right, just got filled at 177 where it is right now, basically, on these puts. All right, leave that pinned, okay? And just put a line right here real quick to represent that where I kind of got in there, give or take. All right, long put NVDA. Somebody, what was it? Somebody type in that, the chat goes away. Somebody, TGT was a target. Somebody type in that T ticker. I lost you there. If you want me to check that out real quick. All right. Want to be extremely careful with this bullish exposure. TGT was it? Target. Let's see. Monthly. Let's see. Monthly. We actually broke this monthly area. Liquidity sweeped a little bit. Came to this monthly low right in here. Weeklies. There is a little bit of a liquidity sweep happening right here, right now. Let's see. Slight gap up. It's been ranging for a couple of days here. I want to be careful with this one. Good swipe on the monthlies. Positive COG. But yeah, intraday is giving it to us here. Let me just check the 30 and the 60 intermediate as well. I want to be a little careful here. These are little speed bumps here. Let me just delete this to clean it up. All right. Little speed bump levels here. But yeah, this checks out fairly decent here. See if we get momentum. Inside day for the right inside day. So be careful. You know it's very early right now. You might want to TP some NVIDIA. And my time's already up, man. This hour flies by. It's got my timer off on YouTube here. I wish I could spend more time with y'all, but let me see. TGT. Not bad. I mean, fairly cheap. The spread's a little wide, but options are not super liquid, but fairly cheap. $1.27 if you want to take a stab at that. Okay, long call. August 9th. All right. That's not too bad there. All right. Visa, having a little trouble there moving forward. Down 7 cents. We got JP Morgan. All right, JP Morgan and Visa not really following through as much. We're getting NVIDIA, new low. All right, I'm gonna TP a bit of some NVIDIA here. TP meaning take some profit. All right, so JP Morgan pulling back a little bit there. Visa as well. All right, I'm gonna TP some NVIDIA. All right, bought these at 177. They're going for 227. So I'm gonna take some profit on NVIDIA. I'll go through some internals with y'all. I'm already 3 minutes over time, but I really don't care about that as much. All right, I'm gonna TP some NVIDIA here. We got a nice little bump. Okay, bought these at 177. I just sold some off at 237. They gave me on that ding there. All right, lock that up. The lock means executions, and I'll leave one unlocked so you can see floating as well. And usually I just put like a line. You know, TP, take profit. Okay. So let's see, oil, let me see, Visa. All right, Visa, be patient with it. We're still above a daily VWAP. All right. You know, if this, you know, first red flag, if I'm wrong on this is, or if I'm wrong on this, you know, is if we break a new daily low right here. Okay, low on day so far. It's still looking fairly decent. Okay. But just because I have to get off this mic here and on YouTube, at least at a minimum here, you know, if this swipes down down over here, okay, this is where, you know, I want to be proven wrong on this and you know, get out. Okay, so I'm just want to give y'all some risk management before I digress, and right, so I don't want to leave y'all in the desert here alone. All right. All right, that goes same thing with kind of gold there. All right, we just got a VWAP retest on that. Walmart was looking good. XOM looking good, positive COG. Okay. JP Morgan coming back, pulling back just a little bit there. All right, want to be careful with bullish exposure, folks. Let me check VIX. All right. Stop loss area here. I see spies. Spies negative COG here. All right, let me check VIX. This is where we pull some daily VWAPs, etc. over here too. All right, so spies probably missed a little quick little negative COG print here. So a lot of things gapped up, but it's fading its gap. I'm short Tesla from yesterday too. Those are going good. Amazon, I held a little bit of Amazon long. Those are going not that good there. Right now, markets are fading this gap. All right. Let me just check internals really briefly here. Advanced decline still holding somewhat up a bit here. Up volume ratio, but it could fade lower. So yesterday that drop was on up volume, which was interesting. Oh, VIX really not spiking here at all, really. It's still down about what, 6%, 5% sub on a downtick right now. Cumulative tick up. So SPYs are below its VWAP or testing its VWAP right now, daily VWAP. Internals are fairly decent. VIX on a downtick here is allowing me to be very cautious on looking to get into puts, even though we're below its daily VWAP so far. TP JP Morgan. All right, there we go. JP Morgan got a nice little new high, TP here. All right, TP JP Morgan 98 to 109 here, just for the one that we did. Quick little scalp for right now. Thank you, Joseph Openshaw, my man. He is an awesome person. All right, so I just filled some JP Morgan here, 107. All right, TP, some here, take profit. All right, pull back to VWAP, another positive CRG, new high, TP. Walmart looking good. XOM, decent. JP Morgan, and just took some profit. Visa, above what we got in. I don't know if premiums are pumping on that. NVIDIA, TP1, we got a test right there. VWAP test. All right, internals. You know, VIX at or around on its lows of overnight. Cumulative tick up. Target there for y'all. Some of y'all might have executed target. Bido. Is Bido, so Bido pulled back. All right, be patient. This still might be developing and setting up here. Decent, but we have to wait for it to pull back on VWAP. Okay, so now some of y'all might be saying, well, it's lower price right now. Let me see if I can get in. Well, what if we never get above VWAP and continue to fade lower? Okay, so that mortgage gap is not as aggressive. XOM, if you did get in, maybe TP some here. Okay. We have positive CRG on SPYs here. All right. And VIX on lows. So that is a positive CRG. What time is it? Geez, I'm already 10 minutes over here. I want to get, that's a nice positive CRG bar print on the 5. The first 30-minute print is not in yet. That's about, what, 4 minutes away? I'd like to see if we can hold up this hammer bar. All right. Now this is a bar or candle that you can work off of. Okay, that you can work off of here. Okay, that if this fails, we could be wrong below it now. Okay, so my phantoms know what I'm saying here. If you wanted to wait for the 30-minute print, to close, that's in about 4 minutes, give or take. That's what we do. We have a thing called painting bars. Okay. Well beyond the scope of this time right now that we have here. I'm already over time. But in about 3 minutes, if this can print a nice hammer bar here, slight gap up, they attempted to fill the gap, it didn't so far, very early. And we break this hammer bar up, and this 5-minute positive COG right here, okay, we get right, we have fall through it. Okay, this could be a nice setup for a bullish play, at least here at a minimum in the morning. Okay. Let's see. These are all yesterday's VWAPs. Ended up being a beautiful walk down trend day. All right. Anyways, I'll delete that data. I know it's kind of a lot of lines here, but these are all VWAP, volume weighted average price. Let me just pull a VWAP here for today. We are above weekly VWAP, folks, my phantoms, for the week. So, all right. So I got daily VWAP here. Very mid on yesterday's range yesterday. All right, so we might be getting a positive CRG potentially here, printing. All right, so we can work off this here. All right, about a minute and a half, we're about to get the close there of that first 30-minute time frame on SPYs. Let me TP some JP Morgan here. Take profits from JP Morgan. This is JP Morgan here. All right, TP some JP Morgan. Take profit. All right, I just took some profit on JP Morgan here, 123. All right, bought these at 98, sold some at 107, 103. All right, SPYs are giving us that setup there potentially. My cursor's being weird. Visa. Is Visa, we need a little more pump here on Visa. So they're about break even. It's above where we got in, but the premium is decaying a little bit there. Google trying to do something here. All right, SPYs, another positive COG here. All right, so I'm gonna get long SPYs. All right, S&P futures as well. You can work on that. August 8th, quick day trade. Usually I have a call put matrix planned out. So some folks are probably already executing this very quickly before me here. So my phantoms. All right, another little positive COG right there. All right, we just got the official 30-minute bar print. It's a hammer. Another positive COG on the 2. 5 is continuation on positive COG above VWAP. So no thoughts, execution, long call, 525 strike. So I'll go slightly out of the money here. If I pick up, say, I could pick up maybe the 529, give or take, okay, if you wanted to control some risk. All right, you can pick up any one of these here. All right, again, I usually map out the call put matrix, but I didn't do that here this morning. But 529 strike call, long SPYs. That's probably going to be it just for right now, folks. I'm already over time. I wanted to see how that developed there for us, so y'all can have some help for the day. I want to be extremely careful with the NVIDIA short. That's why I took some profit aggressively on that. All right, so I just got long here, 529 strike call. Today's expiration, just a day trade here. I got filled at 114. And how y'all doing? Okay. All right, so I'm officially long call SPY. All right. Futures, the equivalency to that, beautiful. Broke the Globex high. Okay. Same print, nice positive COG right here after 30-minute bar close. This would be good too as well. So 52.90. This already spiked up off that positive COG. A good solid 10 points. Okay. All right. Target on that is going to be up here as we get up into the 53.20s. Okay. And up here. So buy. Buy. All right. TP. All right. Meta. Meta didn't clear it's opening high right now on that, so be patient with that. Let's TP some more JP Morgan here before I go. You might even want to TP some SPYs. Those are already up a good couple of pennies there, just in a couple of minutes. Just being patient for that to develop. High probability, right? Let me TP some myself here. TPing some SPYs. Just got filled at 132. Somebody said Apple, Biddle. Let me TP some JP Morgan just really quickly, folks. There's some setups there. It's not that much, too much premium there. Visa, just pumping Visa. I hate trading Visa. Let me see, Biddle. All right, so Biddle had its first close above its VWAP. All right, so I put this on the list, yes, yes, but just remember it can go a little bit above VWAP. To be a bit more patient with it, I know people don't like to be patient and they don't like that word in trading. It's like, no, I want to get in right now. I want to get in right now. You might want to wait for this 30-minute bar print to get conquered in addition to being above daily VWAP. Make sense? All right, because it could go a little bit above VWAP and then fade, okay? So just, you gotta be patient, right? You gotta be patient, all right? If you're patient and you're gonna get higher quality of trades, okay? All right, okay? All right, so BITO might need to prove a bit more there for us. All right, QQQs is doing it already there for us. Qs, SPYs, all right? See how Qs put in that 30-minute bar print right here? I'm gonna copy and paste this over here. The mother bar, well, it's not really a mother bar because we're not inside, but 30-minute bar low, 30-minute bar high, and you see how Qs are above its VWAP and we're above the hammer bar, 30-minute bar print. I took it in SPYs, right? But we did it in Qs to NASDAQ. All right. All right, so Qs is giving it to us there too. All right, so you can work on this. I want to be a little careful with Meta. Meta is daily is getting really weird here, so be careful. I got smacked in Meta yesterday. Let me see. I want to be careful with this Nvidia short. All right, so we already took some profit on Nvidia. I'm still in, but it's a little bit above its VWAP, so it's seeing if we can mark the demands, buyers and sellers kind of going at it a little bit here at this level. So if we break this little level right here off the first negative CRG that we had in the morning, that will be red flag number one. And if we pop new high here, I'm just gonna have to cut Nvidia. Okay, I'm just gonna have to cut Nvidia, but be patient on that. All right, let's see Microsoft. Microsoft is in good location. Microsoft is, I would say, would be even more decently better than Meta, just because of the location of the higher time frames of where we are. Microsoft. It's almost the same formation intraday on Meta as it is on Microsoft, but Microsoft is in a better location, being monthlies down here. All right, Visa is above our entry, albeit, but the premium is probably getting liquidated a little bit. Somebody mentioned Apple. Apple is a little tricky right now. Apple was the play of the day yesterday. This morning, it's wish-washy here. Fill the gap, come back up. I mean, there might have been a little bit of a gap fill here, but usually I don't like to trade against VWAP, so it took a nice little bounce into VWAP, don't get me wrong here. So if you did take a gap play here and bounce, you might want to rebalance or take some profit, because this is a VWAP rebalance right here, right now. Right now we're in the middle of the impulse move down, okay, filled gap, coming back up, rebalancing here. So if we conquer VWAP, and again, if you look at the 30 and you paint bars, you gotta just be patient. Apple's getting a little rangy here past couple days. So pin your 30-minute bar. Now this is an inside bar, okay, so far. All right, so this would be the mother bar, so you might want to wait, right? When you're inside a bar, it's always a little bit more challenging, okay? And I talk about that with the team. We have more time. Google is actually better than Meta. Google actually broke out. I was always looking at Google. So Google, see inside bar, no inside bar, no nothing, versus even something like Meta, okay? So Google, I'm actually probably missing a little bit of a setup here in Google. But I'll be honest, my brain is not 100% in tune, because I should have stopped this session about 25 minutes ago. All right, so Google, see how Google is outside of its first 30-minute bar, and we have a nice spot of COG already following through here. All right, but that should push Qs and SPYs up too as well. So Google's decent. Yeah, monthly view up is powerful. So you can see some phantoms in here. We're discussing that. And especially when Money Mike speaks, it is it's definitely worth noting. So on Google, monthly VWAP. Let me see. Yeah, we're on monthly view up on Google. All right, it's conquering it right now. Inside bar. Google had a nice little push here, nice little positive COG. Should be taking some profit. I don't want to chase too much now, especially when I can't be with y'all to manage that. All right, folks, but I gotta go. I gotta go, okay? I do gotta go. I went well over time here on this, and hopefully this helped. All right, if you want to learn a little bit more here, go to TradePhantoms.com. All right, click that register. And tonight, this evening, if you're really, really new, this would be the starting point of your journey potentially. If you like what you see, first name, email, you get registered for tonight's class. About a 90-minute class, give or take. Okay, 7 p.m. Eastern time starting here, and then this will be the agenda really quickly here. And then short-term trading, all assets, stocks, futures, forex, options, and then that'll be your starting point. And then I'll see some of y'all tonight in class, and I'll see y'all tomorrow morning in the live trade room. All right, have a good day, everybody. Blue out. God bless. Take care. Trade safe.